9858. I've never asked the people for a dollar. I have never asked the people for a dollar in my life. I have never asked the people for a dollar in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for Boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve.
Somebody said, how much money do you need for the documentary? My videographer is not charging me any fees up front. My videographer is not charging me any fees up front. He just needs all of his expenses paid. And he needs the equipment that he needs purchased. And we have to pay for gas, hotel, meals, okay, and other related expenses. I would say $10,000 would be great for the documentary. Do for yourself. Do for yourself. We spend $574 million on soap and bath. That's not hair. That's not perm. That's not weave. $574 million on soap and taking a bath. Lord have mercy. What kind of soap is that?
I have never asked the people for a dollar in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for Boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service.
So he's giving us an analysis of Black people spending behavior. Wow, that's rich coming from him. So Umar is always criticizing Black America over our spending behavior. Grip money, shoot money, alcohol money, weave money. But yeah, we just found out that Umar Johnson uses a cleaning service. His ex, Miss Siobhan, came out and told everybody that Umar Johnson is out here using a cleaning service every week to come to his house, take his clothes, and pretty much bring it back for him. But he's out here talking about our spending habits. Wow. And if you always look at him, his clothes, even in this goofy outfit that he has right here, he's always fresh and clean. I'm not going to even lie. Umar Johnson is one of the online influencers I see that come out all the time with new clothes on, sometimes new shoes on, but he's always fresh. He's always clean. And on top of that, it looks like Umar Johnson also has a drinking problem. Did we not just watch that video from a month ago when he went up to that school? Then he went to a liquor store?
350. I have to give you a 10. Nah, no gin today. I might come back and get some gin for the ancestors. I normally pour the gin to the ancestors. I might come back. I need some ancestral protection. Thanks, bro. $350. Have to give you a 10. Nah, no gin today. I might come back and get some gin for the ancestors. I normally pour the gin to the ancestors. I might come back.
Now, I noticed in that video, now he said, I'm not going to buy no gin today. Like, is buying gin a usual thing for you? And the Clark is like, no gin today? Nah, no gin today, man. So is that like a normal thing they doing up there at FDMG, buying gin, pouring it out for the ancestors? How much money are you spending on gin? That seems like a deduction that you need to be putting on your taxes. But anyway, getting back to it. Now we move forward, and Umar Johnson is in a rental car somewhere in Philadelphia. Umar is sitting in a rental car complaining about his frozen bank accounts of FDMG. By the way, why not diversify and have multiple bank accounts? That way, when one gets closed or one gets frozen or something happens at the bank, you have access to the money on another, on another scale. You could tell he doesn't have a team around him. Let's listen to these clips.
I believe Medea and Pastor Bussy were fraudulently trying to get into my account. And if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested because fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. So then I called the bank, and the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. Both bank accounts have been frozen.
Now, as we move forward, we're in this situation, Umar's in this situation where he's out here trying to beg for money because he said the bank accounts are frozen. But let's get this right. Let's just say that he's telling the truth. Now, let's say that he's not running a play because he's been trying to run plays about the Umar Johnson Defense Fund, and then he said we need another $100,000 to get started on the second school. Remember, he has not even started on the second school, so he want to get started on that one. Let's say that he's not running a play because I think this is a play, but let's say if it's not. This would mean that either the IRS, the U.S. Treasury Department, or the FBI are involved at this point, which take this video down a whole nother path. Now, I'm not going to cover everything that everybody has already covered because people have done excellent jobs covering this stuff. I actually want to cover the federal government being involved if Umar Johnson's not running the play. But if he is running the play, somebody need to report him to the government for running this play with this nonprofit organization. Now, according to his FDMG tax reports, which was reported to the government by Umar Johnson, the tax forms that are out, FDMG only has one member, only one voting member, and only have one governing body personnel. This will be Umar Johnson himself. And this is in accordance with the Umar Johnson tax forms that he did himself 2021, 2022, 2023, and now 2024. So if there's money that's looking funny, the feds have an easy job. Only one person need to be spoken to. With that being said, I would say that means there's embezzlement happening if the federal government is involved. If you guys pay attention to Umar Johnson at this point, he is nothing but a traveling online influencer with a nonprofit organization that is tax exempt. A nonprofit organization that does not function whatsoever, but he gets all the benefits from it. He's been collecting money since 2010. We're in 2025. During that time, he's consistently had rental cars, consistently been at hotels, been on a ton of flights, clothing service coming to his house as exposed by his ex-girlfriend. He's eating out and posting the videos in our face. And every time you see this guy, it's like he has new clothes on, new shoes on. Also, I already told you guys earlier about that gin problem that he has at FDMG. He's buying gin. He's sprinkling over FDMG grounds. It's probably why the grass is dead anyway. You know, it's probably where a lot of money went. Him buying gin and sprinkling it, or for the ancestors, as he says. You can clearly see, and you can clearly hear that Clark, as he said, no gin today. And then Umar Johnson, nah, I'm going to get some later and we're going to sprinkle for the ancestors. So anyway, moving forward, if Umar claims that he's on a selfless mission, which I don't believe he's on a selfless mission, who benefits from FDMG? Who's benefited since he's been collecting money since 2010? I would say the only governing body at FDMG, which is Umar Johnson. He collected $10,000 in 2023 for a movie. He collected money, I think, back in 2018 for another movie. Where's all that money at? He said he's doing all this selfless stuff, but yet he's using FDMG money to get these rental cars so he can go sell his books at events. Shouldn't all that be wrapped around in FDMG? Shouldn't that, if he's using FDMG money to rent these cars and sell these books, shouldn't those book sales go to FDMG, like revenue or something? I mean, because the only thing that he has coming in is what, donations, but I'm 100% sure that he's spending donations. So when he says he never touched $1 million, I do believe Umar Johnson. I believe that he's been spending the money as it came in, so he never got to $1 million. But you know, like say if he got $700,000 and he spent like $50,000, that put him down to $650,000. Then he get another $50,000, so he's back at $7. You know, he's spending the money as it comes in. So I do believe Umar Johnson when he does state that fact that he's never touched $1 million. Because he's spending the money as it comes in. He's eating out. We're in a recession, but this guy's living the good life. I mean, his child support is based off minimum wage, which means he's probably only paying like what, $3,000 a year for his child. Probably was paying another $3,000 for the other child before she went to, you know, above her the cutoff age. So I mean, I had to ask that question: who is benefiting from FDMG? In my opinion, it's this goofy right here, and he's probably new clothes with his bandana on. He's using this nonprofit as an online influencer, but he can avoid taxes. Point blank, period. But if the IRS is involved, the U.S. Treasury Department or the FBI, there's only one person on these tax forms that they need to go talk to. That is Umar Johnson. And if he is trying to run a play, I say this needs to be reported to the IRS, because if he's running a play on these accounts, that means he's embezzling on the money. And I already believe he's been embezzling on the money. So this is video right here. I do have another video coming out, but I just wanted to cover this small segment of who's benefiting off of FDMG. Who's benefiting off FDMG? Is Umar Johnson selfless? I don't believe so. Is Umar Johnson embezzling money? I do believe so. Where's the money from those movies he collected? Where's the money at? Did he put in the FDMG money? 2023? 2018? Somebody told me about another movie, but I couldn't confirm it. So he's not selfless. He's greedy. He's in another rental car. You know, but that's the end of this video, guys. Thanks for watching.